Right now, somewhere inside you, an ancient alarm system is waiting. It never sleeps, and it never asks for your permission. The moment something feels wrong, it takes over your entire body. A shadow shifts, a door slams, a hand lands on your shoulder. In the half second before you even know why, your body has already reacted. Your heart slams against your ribs, your breath catches, your muscles tighten without a single conscious command. You did not decide any of this. Something older than thought decided it for you. By the time your mind catches up and asks what happened, the machine has already done its work. So what is this ancient system doing inside you when you are terrified? Why does it hijack your heart, your lungs, your stomach, even your sense of time? And why, after millions of years, does it still treat a horror film the same way it treats a charging predator? Today we are going inside that single moment of pure terror. We will follow the signal from the first flicker of fear to the slow return of calm. Because the thing that frightens you is only half the story. The other half is happening inside your own body, right now, ready to fire. Fear does not begin with thinking. It begins with speed. Deep inside your brain sits a small, almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. It is your built-in threat detector, and it is astonishingly fast. When your senses pick up something alarming, the information rushes inward toward the brain. From there, it can travel along two very different roads. The first road is the slow one. It runs up to the thinking part of your brain, the cortex, where the world is carefully analyzed. That road is accurate, but it takes time. It checks the shape, the context, the meaning of what you are facing. The second road is the fast one. Scientists often call it the low road. It carries a rough, blurry signal straight from the thalamus to the amygdala, skipping conscious thought entirely. This shortcut reacts in milliseconds, long before you understand what you are looking at. Strictly speaking, this first reaction is not yet fear. It is a fast defensive reflex. The feeling we call fear comes a moment later, once the thinking brain catches up. That is why you flinch at a coiled garden hose before realizing it is not a snake. Your eyes barely registered a curved shape on the ground. Your amygdala had already pulled your body backward. You jumped before you knew there was nothing to jump from. Think of it like a smoke detector in your home. It does not wait to confirm there is a real fire. It screams at the first hint of smoke, even if you only burn the toast. An annoying false alarm is a small price to pay for never missing the real thing. Your amygdala works exactly the same way. It chose to act on a guess. It would rather be wrong and safe than right and dead. This is the core trade your brain makes under threat. Speed over accuracy. Survival over certainty. A false alarm costs you a startled jump and a moment of embarrassment. A missed alarm could cost you your life. So evolution tuned this system to fire first and ask questions later. The amygdala does not wait for proof. It sounds the alarm on the faintest hint of danger, then lets the slower, smarter brain confirm or cancel it afterward. This is why, a second later, you can feel almost foolish. The high road has finally arrived with the full picture. It tells you the snake was a hose, the intruder was a coat on a chair, the noise was just the wind. Your heart is still pounding, but the thinking brain has caught up at last. In that tiny gap between the two roads, though, your body has already been committed. The amygdala has reached out to the command centers below, and the response is beginning. You have not yet formed a single clear thought. And yet your whole body has already been told that something is wrong, the order has been given, now the rest of you must answer it. What happens next is one of the fastest chemical cascades your body is capable of. The alarm has sounded, and now the body must arm itself. The amygdala signals a region deep in the brain called the hypothalamus, which acts like a master switch for survival. It flips your nervous system into emergency mode in an instant. This is the famous fight-or-flight response, and it begins faster than you can blink. The hypothalamus activates the sympathetic nervous system, a network of nerves running throughout your body. Think of it as the accelerator pedal of your whole nervous system, suddenly pressed to the floor. These nerves reach the adrenal glands, two small organs sitting on top of your kidneys. On command, they release a flood of adrenaline directly into your bloodstream. Within seconds, that adrenaline reaches nearly every major organ you have. This is the chemical that transforms you. It tells your heart to pound harder and faster. It tells your airways to open wider. It tells your liver to release stored sugar into the blood for instant fuel. Your body is being prepared all at once to run or to fight for its life. It is like an emergency button that does not switch on one machine, but 100 at the same moment. Everything that helps you survive is turned up. But adrenaline is only the first wave. It is fast, and it fades fairly quickly. If the threat continues, a slower system kicks in behind it. This is the HPA axis, a chain running from the hypothalamus to the pituitary gland to the adrenal glands. It releases cortisol, often called the stress hormone. Cortisol arrives more slowly, but it keeps the body fueled and alert for a longer struggle. It keeps sugar flowing and sharpens your focus on the danger at hand. If adrenaline is the sprinter, cortisol is the supply line that keeps the battle going. Together, these two waves form a remarkable emergency response. Adrenaline for the explosive first moments, cortisol for the longer fight. One floods in, then the other sustains. The whole system is designed for one purpose. It pulls energy away from anything that can wait and pours it into anything that helps you survive the next few minutes. Digestion can wait, long-term repair can wait, growth, healing, and rest can all be paused. Your body acts like a city under attack, cutting power to every district except the ones defending the walls. Right now, your body has decided that staying alive is the only thing that matters. Nothing else is allowed to compete for resources. And the most remarkable part is how little of this you control. You did not choose to release adrenaline. You did not decide to pause digestion. A structure the size of an almond made all of these calls for you in less than a second. The thinking brain you are so proud of was simply not invited to the meeting. And every organ is about to feel the effect of that decision. The change is already spreading through your chest and your blood. Now the surge reaches the engine room of your body. Your heart is the first to respond in a way you can actually feel. Adrenaline drives it to beat faster and harder, pushing more blood with every contraction. This is why terror comes with that violent pounding in your chest. It can feel like your heart is trying to escape your ribcage. In truth, it is simply working overtime. It is racing to deliver fuel and oxygen wherever your body might need them most. At the same time, your breathing changes. It becomes faster and shallower, pulling in more oxygen with each breath. The small airways in your lungs widen to let air move more freely. Your body is loading up on the one thing your muscles will burn if you have to move. Oxygen in, fuel ready, the engine revving before the race even begins. Then comes a hidden shift you cannot see. Your blood is being redirected. Vessels near the skin and around the gut narrow, while vessels feeding the large muscles open up. Blood is pulled away from places that do not matter in a crisis and sent towards your arms and legs. Think of it as rerouting traffic during an emergency, closing the quiet side streets to clear the main highways. This is part of why fear can leave your face pale and your hands cold. The blood has been sent somewhere more urgent. The skin can wait, but the muscles cannot. Your blood pressure rises to push all this fuel through the body with force. Your blood sugar climbs as the liver releases its stored reserves. Everything is being staged for a single burst of effort. There is even a quieter preparation happening in the blood itself. Under stress, your blood becomes slightly more ready to clot. In a word of claws and teeth, a wound was a real possibility, and faster clotting could mean the difference between a scratch and bleeding out. Your body is preparing not just to act, but to survive being injured while it acts. It is thinking several steps ahead, bracing for the worst before the worst has even happened. Put it all together, and you become a different creature for a moment. A pounding heart, open lungs, fueled muscles, and braced blood. You are primed to explode into motion. Every part of you is leaning forward, ready to launch. This is the body at its most physically capable, sharpened to a single edge. This is also where those astonishing stories come from. The parent who reportedly lifts a heavy object off a trapped child, the person who outruns a danger they could never normally escape. Scientists can't fully verify these dramatic feats, but the idea fits what we know. In that surge, pain fades, fatigue retreats, and the body taps into reserves it normally keeps carefully hidden. It is not magic, and it is not unlimited. It is simply every system in your body pulling in the same direction at once. But motion is not the only answer your body can give. Sometimes, in the face of terror, it chooses to do the opposite of run. We talk about fight or flight, but there's a third response we rarely name. Sometimes, when terror strikes, the body does not run and does not fight. It freezes. You have felt a smaller version of this. The instant of total stillness when something startles you, when you cannot seem to move at all. Your feet feel rooted to the floor. Your voice catches in your throat. In its extreme form, this is called tonic immobility, a deep, involuntary freeze. The body locks up almost completely, held in place by the same survival system that elsewhere makes you run. For our ancestors, freezing was not weakness. Many predators are drawn to movement, so going completely still can make you harder to notice. A rabbit frozen in the grass is often safer than a rabbit in mid-sprint. Holding perfectly motionless, holding your breath, becoming part of the background, this too was a survival strategy written deep into the brain. Your body can choose it automatically when fighting and fleeing both seem hopeless. It is the brain making a cold calculation in an instant. If you cannot win and you cannot escape, then perhaps you can disappear. But there is an even stranger response to fear. Some people faint. It happens most often at the sight of blood or needles or sudden horror. This seems to make no sense at all. Why would your body shut down at the exact moment danger appears? The answer lies in something called the vasovagal response. In most fear, your heart speeds up and your blood pressure rises, exactly as we described. But with these particular triggers, the body can overcorrect in the opposite direction. The vagus nerve, a major calming nerve, fires too strongly. The heart rate suddenly drops and blood pressure falls away. With blood pressure crashing, not enough blood reaches the brain. And so, for a few seconds, you lose consciousness and crumple to the ground. It is a sudden, dramatic collapse from a system that swung too far the wrong way. There are theories about why this strange reflex exists. Some suggest that going limp and still during overwhelming threat may once have offered its own kind of protection. Others think it may be linked to slowing blood loss from an injury. The honest answer is that we are still not entirely sure. Whatever its origin, it shows something important about fear. Your body has more than one survival script, and it chooses between them without asking you. Fight, flee, freeze, or fall. Which one you get is not really a matter of bravery or willpower. It is your brain reading the situation in an instant and picking the option it judges most survivable. Two people in the same terrifying room may react in completely different ways, and neither one chose. And while your body is choosing, something equally dramatic is happening to the way you see and hear the world. Terror does not just change your body, it changes your perception of reality itself. One of the first things to shift is your eyes. Under the pull of adrenaline, your pupils widen, opening up to let in as much light as possible. It is like the aperture of a camera springing wide open. The world can seem suddenly brighter and sharper, every detail of the threat thrown into focus. But this sharpening comes at a cost. Many people describe tunnel vision in moments of extreme fear. Your attention narrows down onto the source of danger, and everything at the edges seems to fade away. It is as though the world shrinks to a single spotlight, with the threat at its center. Your brain has decided that nothing else is worth seeing right now. Your hearing can change too. Some sounds drop out entirely, while others, the ones that matter, seem to leap forward. Your brain is filtering hard, throwing away anything that will not help you survive the next few seconds. Then there is the strangest effect of all. Time seems to slow down. People in terrifying moments often say that everything happened in slow motion. The car crash, the fall, the near miss, all stretched out as if seconds had become minutes. It feels as if the world itself paused to let you watch. For a long time, people assume the brain literally speeds up perception during fear. But the science points somewhere more interesting. In a frightening moment, your amygdala drives your brain to lay down unusually rich, dense memories. You record far more detail than usual, packing the moment with information. Think of it like a camera switching to a much higher frame rate, capturing far more snapshots per second. Later, when you look back, your brain reads all that detail and assumes the event must have lasted longer. So much was recorded that it could not possibly have been brief. The slow motion is not really happening as it unfolds. It is built into the memory afterward, from the sheer density of what you stored. The illusion is real, but it is written in hindsight. Your skin reacts too. Tiny muscles at the base of each hair contract, pulling your hairs upright. We call it goosebumps. It is the same reflex that puffs up a frightened animal to look bigger and more threatening. A startled cat doubles in size in an instant. In us, it is a faint echo of fur we no longer have. A useless gesture now, but the ancient wiring still fires. It is a small reminder that fear speaks in a language far older than we are. Put all of this together, and you realize something unsettling. In a moment of terror, you are not seeing the world as it truly is. You are seeing a sharpened, narrowed, slowed down version, edited in real time for survival. And as your senses strain to read the danger deeper inside, your gut has already gone quiet. Fear has a feeling, and so much of that feeling lives in your stomach. The moment the alarm sounds, your body makes a brutal decision about energy. Digestion is not urgent, survival is. Think about it from your body's point of view. Why spend energy breaking down breakfast when a predator is about to break down you? So blood and resources are pulled away from your digestive system and sent to your muscles and brain. The result is a cluster of sensations you know all too well. Your mouth goes dry because saliva, which is part of digestion, slows right down. That is why fear and a parched mouth so often arrive together. It is why a nervous speaker reaches for a glass of water before stepping on stage. The body has quietly shut off the tap. Then there are the butterflies. That fluttering, hollow feeling in your stomach is your gut reacting as its blood flow and activity suddenly shift. The same system that calmly handles your lunch is being throttled back, and you feel it as unease. Sometimes that unease tips into real nausea. With digestion stalled and stress hormones surging, the stomach can rebel, and extreme fear can genuinely make you feel sick. Your gut and your brain are far more connected than we once believed. They talk to each other constantly, which is why an emotion can land in your belly like a physical blow. There is an even more embarrassing side to this. In moments of intense terror, some people lose control of their bladder or their bowels. It feels humiliating, but there is a logic to it. Maintaining control over these systems takes constant energy and muscular tension that the body would rather spend elsewhere. When survival is on the line, holding everything in is simply not the priority. There may be another ancient reason as well. Emptying the body could make you lighter for the run, or it may simply be a side effect of the whole system slamming into emergency mode. The body is not trying to embarrass you. It is following an old script that never cared about dignity, only about survival. Either way, it reveals the same brutal logic at work everywhere in fear. Anything that is not helping you survive the next few moments gets switched off or pushed aside. Your gut, your mouth, your bladder, all of them yield to the single goal of getting through the threat. It is uncomfortable, undignified, and deeply, deeply human. And it explains a strange truth about how we feel fear. So much of dread is not in your head at all. It is in your churning stomach, your dry throat, your unsteady knees. When we say a situation is gut-wrenching, we are describing something physically real. The gut really is being wrenched by a brain that has decided it can wait. And yet, knowing how unpleasant all of this is, we still go looking for fear on purpose. Here is the strange twist in the whole story. Your body builds this elaborate emergency response to protect you from danger, and then you go and buy a ticket to a horror film. You strap yourself into a roller coaster and climb the first hill on purpose. Why would anyone choose to feel terror? The secret lies in a single word: safety. When you watch a scary movie, your amygdala still fires. Your heart still races. Your muscles still tense. The surge still floods through you. Your body cannot fully tell the difference between a real monster and one on a screen. But a deeper part of your brain knows the truth. You are sitting on a couch. The lights will come back on. The monster cannot reach you. You get the full physical thrill of fear without the real risk of harm. This is sometimes called safe fear, and your body responds to it in a fascinating way. The arousal of fright and the rush of relief afterward can blend into something that feels almost like joy. When the scary moment passes and you realize you are fine, the contrast is powerful. The tension breaks, relief floods in, and the brain's reward chemistry, including dopamine, can make the whole experience feel deeply satisfying. You feel intensely, vividly alive. That is the appeal of the haunted house and the thriller. A taste of mortal terror wrapped safely in the knowledge that you will walk away unharmed. It is the same reason a child loves to be chased and then caught. The fear is real enough to thrill, but the danger is not real at all. We are, in a sense, playing with our own alarm system. But eventually, every fear response must end. Once the threat is gone, or the credits roll, your body has to come back down. This is where another system takes over. The parasympathetic nervous system, often called rest and digest, is the calm counterpart to fight or flight. It slows your racing heart and steadies your breathing. It reopens blood flow to your skin and gut and lets digestion start again. It tells your body gently that the danger has passed. But this return takes time. Adrenaline and cortisol do not vanish the instant the scare is over. That is why you can feel shaky and wired for many minutes after a fright has ended. Your body is still clearing the chemicals it released in a fraction of a second. The alarm switches off far more slowly than it switched on. It takes a single moment to flood your body and much longer to drain. This is also why slow, deep breathing helps so much when you are frightened. By breathing slowly on purpose, you gently nudge that calming system back into control. You are speaking to your body in a language it understands, telling it the danger is over. Slowly, breath by breath, you settle back into yourself. So that is what happens inside you in a single moment of pure terror. An ancient alarm fires before you can think. A chemical surge floods your body in seconds. Your heart, your lungs, your blood, your senses, even your gut, all reshaped around one goal: survival. And then, slowly, the calm returns and gives you back to yourself. The next time fear grips you, remember that none of it is weakness. It is the oldest, most loyal machine you own, still trying to keep you alive. If this pulled you in, there are 2 more journeys into the dark waiting for you. There's the one on why you're afraid of the dark and what your brain imagines when the light is gone. And there is the one on what total isolation does to your mind, when there is no one left to fear and no one left at all. Your body is full of secrets like these, firing quietly beneath every ordinary day. We will keep drawing them out, one crude diagram at a time. Until then, take a slow breath and feel how calm your body can be. This was Doodle Anatomy.